Well, welcome back to another Wednesday whiskey review from you boys at the Buffalo Happy Hour. Today, I don't even know what we got. What do we got, Mike?
Stroudwater Distillery, Belfry Double Barrel Bourbon.
Belfry. We'll figure it out.
One of the two. This one is brought to you by Addie's, by the way.
Know how to pronounce that.
That's right. Addie's, for those that don't know, is a family-owned local liquor store in Buffalo, located on Transit Road in Williamsville. If you want to check out their inventory, feel free to download their app on the Addie's app. The Apple App Store and or the Google Playground Play Store. Download the Addie's app. Check their inventory. If you're within the state of New York, you can have things mailed right to you. Or if you're local and you want to swing in, feel free. They have an in-house wine sommelier and a very knowledgeable staff that can guide you not only to this product, which is brought to you by the state of Maine, but you can also check out their other options regarding Scotch, rye, Irish whiskeys, like Clonakilty, of course. They also have rum, tequilas, wines, etc. So, Addie's, thank you for this. So let's dive into company background. This guy is 45% ABV, 90 proof. Okay. This is right off their website, and it made me extremely happy. Maine is the perfect place to be for the end of the world. A friend once told me, everything happens in Maine, but it might take 5 years to get there. We take no shame in that, indeed, from where we stand. It's a badge of honor. It means that up here in Maine, we are unbuffeted by the fickleness of fad and fashion, that our values and industry and thrift and tradition, heritage, all stay unfooled around with. In our historic towns and villages, the unspoiled bounty from land and sea and our finely hewn libations are modern culinary treasures. They have become our handshake to the world. So, it is with 1 foot firmly planted in the past and our eyes trained on contemporary excellence that we offer a rye, bourbon, vodka, gin, and rum. Housed in a renovated old brick train shed built a century ago, our unique tasting room is located on Thompson's Point along the Fore River in Portland, Maine, featuring a full selection of cocktails, retail items, including bottles, and guided tastings. Stroudwater Distillery Tasting Room is next door to Bissell Brothers Brewery and Celador Winery and across the street from Thompson's Point Concerts. Whiskey details. Okay. So this is actually a collab.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Bissell plus bourbon plus barrel equals Furley. And Bissell is the name of the brewery that is next to them. So
this is a collab with them?
Yeah. So Belfry is double barrel bourbon whiskey through a collaborative project with their friends and next door neighbors at Bissell Brothers Brewing. After they age their Angels with Filthy Souls, Maple Porter, and their Seagull Oatmeal Stout, we take the empty barrels and fill them with our bourbon whiskey and let it age for another 6 to 10 months. So it's a youthful whiskey, but it's got extra warmth and complexity. Belfry is produced in an ultra small batch and is a limited release. So the first batch was a mere 1,200 bottles, and then they basically told everybody to pay attention to their social media for availability and pricing, because the next release was tentatively scheduled for Halloween 2020. So that is super exciting. I want to try this, obviously, so I'm glad it's on the show. Addie's, thank you for providing this bottle.
I'm interested that it doesn't have any mention of Bissell Brothers on the label, though. Like, I wouldn't have known that this is a collab. Normally, you'll see, like, brought to you by Bissell Brothers or something like that, right?
Yeah, not
so
Pfizer.
That's interesting, yeah.
So,
right off the bat, you can see there's a lot of floating stuff.
Yeah,
go ahead and open it. They probably don't filter it, huh?
For those that are watching,
Welcome.
Yes, welcome, first and foremost. But Portland is 40 minutes north of Algonquin, which is where I go once a year. So,
have you ever gone to this distillery?
Oh, no. However, I'm going in a couple weeks.
There you go.
So this may
stop in, say hi.
Yeah, this might air when I'm there.
There
we'll
you go.
See.
Go in, flash that business card.
I'm not trying to rap or anything, but yeah.
I like it. All right, so label branding, what do you got?
I don't mind it. I do like their logo. Look at that.
Logo's pretty sick.
You know?
A little.
It's got like a Grim Reaper.
Like a
guy in
skeleton
the middle.
Grim Reaper.
Yeah. Stroudwater Distillery.
It's got that circle logo, kind of
Yep.
similar to ours. Very
Mhm.
nice, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like the ticket, like outside of the bottom part of it, how
Yep.
it's kind of crimpy. That's
Yep.
cool. I love the font. I love the colors. The only thing that I would say is that I don't like that it's a collab and they didn't put the brewery on there. Maybe that was like a decision, but I think that a collab should always have the other place on there to give a little shout out, you know?
I like that they have
Unless this is them.
45 ABV and then they have 90 on the other side
Oh,
for 90
dude,
proof.
never mind. It is them. BBB.
There you go. Way to go.
Okay. I take it back then. I like it then. I mean, that was kind of the biggest thing to me. I like it. I'll go A.
It is. I agree. I agree.
All right, let's pour this bad boy out, huh? You do the honors, friend.
Let's do a nose.
I got one, too. What kind of cork? Oh, it's a little... The black cork, huh? First time you see that on the show. You don't
Is
see
it?
that very often.
No, that's not the first. I think the first was Black Button, wasn't it?
I don't think that they had a black cork. Could be wrong.
We'll have to go
I don't know
back.
if I've ever seen a black cork.
This is Wednesday Whiskey Review number 100 plus,
Yeah.
so it's been a minute.
120 plus.
Well, it was just to make the point, Derek.
123 plus. It's got a nice color. It's pretty deep. I like
It
it.
does have a nice color.
I do. I think this is the first for the black label. Or
Black
the black cork. And this is kind of corky too, like the top.
Yeah.
It's all the same
I love
molecular makeup.
I love how they said it's a limited run. It's like 1,200 bottles.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's not limited. There's a lot of options right there. It's a lot of the juice.
All right, on the nose, what are you getting?
I do pick up grain. I don't know why I just repeated myself twice.
Yeah, I do,
like
I do,
I'm
I
not a
do.
podcast host, but it's fine. I do pick up some grain.
You're kind of picking up a little bit of like that fermented yeast, kind of the light, fresh.
Got that?
Yeah, it's just really hard to put into words because it smells like beer, but it doesn't smell like beer. It kind of smells like the process if you're in a brewery and they're making beer behind you.
It smells like a brewery.
Correct.
That's the easiest way to explain it. If you've ever gone to where they brew, that's literally what it smells like, and it's pleasant. Not in a bad way. It's not like a turn off.
Yeah.
It's not appealing.
I'm actually getting a little bit of a cigar too, like tobacco.
You gonna do the finger trick?
A little bit. Learned that when I took the poison out of St. Lawrence, you know. But yeah, I'm kind of getting a little bit of like a tobacco, a dark woody tobacco.
This makes me thirsty. This is a good nose. It's semi tough to smell. I'm just gonna go B, because it's not unappealing. You agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think that tobacco note is what I'm primarily getting. Are you getting that at all? Or
Yeah.
no?
No, there's a little bit of tobacco, but I think mainly because you've said that. For me, a lot of this is kind of like the grain, almost like old hay mixed in with brewery.
Yeah. Tobacco, leather, old hay. That's kind of what I'm getting.
Initial taste. Oh, wow.
I was not expecting that.
No, that's smooth. There's a lot of vanilla in here. There's caramel
This tastes like
and
Like-
oatmeal.
This tastes to me like a Swisher Sweet, like a vanilla Swisher Sweet.
This is really good.
I'm getting that super sugary vanilla, like almost to the point where it's a little overpowering, but it's not
No, it's
because it
fantastic.
touches your tongue and it's super, super sweet right off. But before you can even get the whiskey notes on the middle of your tongue, you have just a blast of like super, super sugary, sweet brown sugar vanilla note. This tastes to me like when you first put your lips on a Swisher Sweet and you get that kind of crystallized sugar vanilla note that they really put hard in that Swisher Sweet to kind of ease the newbies into smoking cigars, you know?
Guys, nice job on this.
This is really pleasant.
This is really good. Or gals, if there's women involved up there crushing it in Maine. This is really good. I'm going to add one drop just to see what the non-homogeneous, homogeneous stem lock, leaf lock water does, but I really do like this a lot. Huh. It's not what I was expecting at all. I love that they're like, hey, we're just going to take our whiskey that's already been aged and we're just going to throw it in there. I don't know how long they aged their whiskey initially, though. Because, again, this is a collab. Yeah. And then it's 6 to 10 months inside of the beer barrels.
They said it's a relatively young whiskey.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're only doing it in this barrel. I don't think so, because you can taste quite a bit of whiskey flavor. So I'm assuming it might be like a 2-year in a regular American oak barrel, and then they throw it. It has to be, because it has to be in a new char oak barrel to start in order for them to call it whiskey.
Well, bourbon.
Right.
Yeah.
So they had to do that, and they just finished it.
Mm-hmm. They did a good job. Initial taste, I'm going to go A-.
Now that I think about it, I don't know if they can call it whiskey, if they can call it bourbon. If they're finishing it in a barrel, a beer barrel, they can't be called bourbon anymore. There must be a stipulation with double-barreled, that phrase, to start it, kind of like how...
Yeah, you have to acknowledge the fact that it went... Yeah.
So you have to maybe say double-barreled bourbon whiskey. That would make sense.
Because
I would be interested to hear more
it's
about
their
that.
bourbon that they then just threw into... So, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't finish it. Because bourbon can only be in American New Char Oak New barrels. So,
correct.
Yeah, that double barrel has to be significant behind that. But ending note, I'm getting more of that like cigar. I'm kind of getting more...
Do you agree with the A- on initial taste?
You said B, I think.
No,
right?
A-.
A-? I'll go A-. I like A-.
A-?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. Any note.
Ending note, I'm getting more of that aftertaste of that cigar, but also a little bit of like a coffee and chocolate at the end, or cacao, I should say, like a really spicy and bitter chocolate at the end.
Freaking cacao nibs.
This is surprisingly very good.
If you found the weakest cigar, blew the smoke out, I'm talking like a 1.5 strength or like a 1 strength. You took your puff.
I'm telling you, man, just a vanilla Swisher Sweet.
Yeah, you exhaled, and then you just chilled out for a minute. You're having a conversation with a friend, and it's a flavored cigar, almost like an acid of some sort. Then no free shout-outs. Although if you send a couple sticks, I'm not going to get mad.
We'll do a cigar review.
We need to do a pairing review.
Yeah, we do.
Anyway,
we'll get back to that.
That's kind of what you get with this any note when it comes to the tobacco piece. Otherwise, you still get those sugars. You still get the the grain and the oat from that oatmeal beer. Like, it's just really good. And the burn, it's such a high hug. I mean, it's way, 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 way up here. It's nothing in your chest at all. No indigestion in your stomach. Superb.
This does taste like a 90 proof, though. Like, it doesn't taste weak. It doesn't taste strong. It tastes like a perfect 90 proof.
Any note for me, I'm still either A- or B+ Jack.
I'll go B+ Jack. It's inviting. It's delicious.
It's viscous.
It's very viscous, and you can tell that as soon as this hits your tongue, you're like, I haven't tasted this before in a whiskey. I don't think. The way that it is so sweet and kind of so direct with that whole cigar vanilla coffee, you just assume that it was aged in something else.
After dinner, great sipper.
Yeah.
You want something sweet, almost like dessert, but you don't want to eat. This is it.
This is a 1 glass whiskey for me. Like, if you go 2 glasses, it's gonna lose its oomph to me. Like,
really?
if you do 1 glass, you sip it, you kind of enjoy it, you really digest the flavors, and then save it for another night.
I just got here, so what are we drinking after
this?
this?
That's kind of how I feel about this. I mean, we can still drink this. It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
Correct. From the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so B+ Jack, any note.
B+ Jack. Okay, I love it.
I agree.
agree.
Final rating. Derek, give me that countdown.
3, 2, 1.
89. 88.5.
Love it.
Really good rating.
Yeah.
Really good whiskey. Guys, swing over to Addie's.
How much is it? Do you know?
They have this on their shelf. I do. I just got to find it. When we were going through a few things, the stickers were left on the counter. So let me find.
There is a lot of stuff floating in this. So I'm assuming that this isn't filtered.
This is 48 doll hairs.
Okay. That's a reasonable price for this.
At Addie's.
I wouldn't say it's affordable. I wouldn't say it's expensive. I think this is a reasonable price.
I agree.
I agree. All right.
Swing over to Addie's, guys. Check it out. Download their app, Addie's Fine Wine and Spirits, on the Apple App Store or the Google Playground Play Store. If you are local in the state of New York, they can ship it right to your doorstep. $48. It is going to be 10% off for the next week once this review goes live. Guys, nice job on this product. It is really good. If you do happen to watch this, and otherwise, Derek, take us out.
If you do get this, please remember to always drink responsibly. Be a good person. Michael.
Do not litter.
We're out.